What do you think of that idea? I don't know if Hobo's even listening right now, but I know he's still lurking, so. Because I'm legally blind, not totally blind. There's a major difference between being legally blind and totally blind. I'm visually impaired. Not completely blackout blind. I will be at some point, though. My eyes do get worse every year. So generally, like, you could probably answer that question yourself if you used a little bit of, you know, logic. Man, they've done a real good job cleaning up that little pedestal there. I mean, you're the one who asked if I could see things, and I just responded bluntly. If you take that as, like, unpleasant rudeness, then fair enough. Moving along. Yeah, that's my response too, Nipple. It's like, huh, all right then. Well, I mean, it's just like that person, I don't know how many of you guys were in the chat for the most recent video premiere I did on YouTube, but there was a person who popped up around halfway through the premiere who was like, why would anybody want to pay money for Dwarf Fortress? It's like kind of not getting the picture whatsoever. And then after about 15 minutes of them basically just complaining about everything related to Dwarf Fortress, everybody in the chat just kind of started dogpiling them going, you know, you don't need to buy it, right? Like, we're not like ordering you to purchase anything. You don't need to buy anything. And then they were like, I'm just as excited about Dwarf Fortress as you. Stop bullying me. It's like, hold on a second, what? I was like, what? Ask a rude question, get a rude answer? Have a dumb take, get a dumb take response? That's the way the world works. It's like literally you can ask and answer that question yourself. How do you see this if you are blind out of curiosity? Well, obviously I'm not entirely blind. I'm visually impaired like the tag says. It's like, it's not difficult to figure out, but eh. People are very delicate in this era. This shite sucks. Yo, dog, I'm the one. Why are you attacking me? Yeah, pretty much. Bellinair, thanks for the raid. Cheers, man. I hope that the Minecraft day with wifey was good, and I hope that the Minecraft day with community was good. If anybody wants to hop on the server that Bellinair's been playing on, you can do so over here. Just need to get whitelisted. We can whitelist you if you request it. Information on that Discord. Pretty good place. Hope the stream was good, Bell. Also, the secret thing is almost entirely good to launch. Almost. Working on it. Also, if you guys don't know Bellinair, he's a fantastic Finnish lad. Part of my stream team. Very entertaining dude. Rolls his R's a whole lot. Can highly recommend his stream. I kind of wish that leather textiles produced more clothing than it does. I guess, let's just sell leather. Just sell all of it. Because I'm really not using it. Secret will be, no, because it's not related to Tarn at all. Not even related to Dwarf Fortress. Sorry to disappoint. Although I will tell you that the algorithm has been nice to my most recent video, or my most recent major video anyway. I mean, just have a look at this at this graph. I mean, come on, just whoop, whoop. I wish it could just like go up here and stay up here instead of like, you know, doing the daily drop down. Like between like 6 and 10 a.m. are like, or like 4 and 10 a.m. are like the busiest hours for this video, which I don't understand at all. But hey, it's nice. It's nice that the YouTube algorithm is nice to me every now and again. I do think it's kind of funny that instead of chopping down big trees, the big trees turn into smaller trees, which turn into tiny trees, which turn into itty-bitty trees, which turn into wood. It's like they just beat the big tree and it just transforms into 4 small trees instead of, like, falling over. Which I think is really funny. One of my favorite quirks of this game. This is gonna mostly be for foodstuffs up here. It's tree magic. It's truly tragic. Although I think I'm in the Hall of Fame for Dwarf Fortress already, so I wouldn't really ask Tarn to do anything more for me, quite frankly. Tarn lending me his free time to be on my streams is given my YouTube channel legitimacy as a news source for Dwarf Fortress things, instead of just some random dude making videos about Dwarf Fortress things, which is very, 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 very kind of him. Although, as he told me after one of the streams, I think it was not the most recent one, but the one before, he says in his head that my streams have kind of replaced DF Talk to a degree. Which kind of sucks because I miss DF Talk, but kind of filling that niche. You're pretty hyped for the Steam release, not gonna lie. I just, my hope for the Steam release is this. I hope that my YouTube channel gets somewhere between 10 to 25,000 subscribers off of it. And I hope that I gain enough traffic as a content creator off of the release of the Steam version of DF that I don't have dead chats anymore. Because currently, like, there will be days where I just have dead chats for pretty extended periods of time, which isn't, like, a bad thing. Like, it's not a death sentence or anything, but it makes my job really difficult. And never having a dead chat is a really nice thing. And before it goes to 1 million, I will leap. You know what? I don't want to, like, promise to eat too many shoes, but I would eat a shoe if I hit 1 million subs off of the Steam release of DF, because there's no fucking way in hell that's happening. Grug Smash, maybe. No. My channel's too niche. I think 100K is doable, which is, like, my lofty goal, but... Yeah, go to bed, Spooky. Sheesh. Go get some sleep. I'll be on Tuesday. So the mole people can dig without needing tools, and they have tremor sense so that they can see in the dark, but they can only see 5 tiles around themselves at all times. I mean, that's not too dissimilar to the way dwarves work. I mean, the only difference between a dwarf with eyes and a dwarf without eyes is a dwarf with eyes has a better chance to dodge incoming, like, projectiles. So eyes aren't actually that important in Dwarf Fortress. That's a weird thing to say. You're already at work and you have 5 hours left. You'll be fine. You'd say something about that pun, but you will leave it be. Well, I mean, it's just a whole bucket of pine needles, if you know what I'm saying. You have work in 8 hours? Oh my god. You guys are just, like, wrecking your workday to watch my stream. I feel bad now. Don't ruin your day at work because I'm streaming. I will be on another day. Remember that. Take care of yourselves, chat. Let's get rid of this one. Don't actually need that many right now. Focus on this one. And clearing off these other ones. I'm just putting my roots down. Or rather, actually what I should have said is I'm just going back to my roots. But I already fucked it. Yeah, fair enough, Dak Healther. I mean, when I worked super early mornings when I was younger, because there was a bit there where I was doing like 4 a.m. starts at one of the jobs that I had. And when I was working at that job, the way I got by is I would wake up at about noon, and then I would sleep, I would wake up. It was because I would start at 4 a.m. I'd wake up at about 4 p.m. and then I would play games until about 3 a.m. Go to work, till I would work my 8 hours, and then I would come home and I'd play games for like 2 hours, and I'd go to bed. So, and as you fall asleep to streams or YouTube VODs, yeah. I've definitely done that. Although for me, usually it's podcasts. But can absolutely relate. All right, well, that did bump up my soldier count by quite a bit. A couple more odd jobbers. I might buy a bunch of slaves because we do have 100,000 monies now. Just buy a bunch of Andorian slaves maybe? You've done 8 hours so far? Oh god. It's a long shift. Farming season is busy. Also don't need this one. I thought that It's a good thing you get to work from home. I mean, actually, yeah, that's not a bad setup. 12-hour night shift, and you get to watch streams and movies and YouTube videos all night. It's pretty good. Assuming, like, you know, watching streams doesn't impact your ability to work. How the heck? I just removed like 4 jobs. Really need to build one of those procreation sites. Damn, we making money. Treasury going up. You operate and handle alarms on fridges and freezers? Oh, really? Damn. So, like, restaurant-style stuff? You snooze well, Calthor. Thanks for hanging out today. You hate to be the one cleaning those. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's the Kryptonian breeders, the hatcheries for the bug people, or lizard people, I'm not sure what they are. The human nurseries, and the Telepi, which is the elven nurseries. I'll be building an elven nursery, probably. I mean, it's basically just like childcare, right? I love all the ambient sounds that this game has. Especially for the factories. Like, this is the textiles. Oh, damn. We also sold all of the leather already. That was pretty quick. I'm going to up that stockpile again. Maybe it's time to start bringing these guys in. No more leather clothing? I mean, I haven't been making any clothing for a while because I've been just like mass training my military because of the warning that popped up. But I've recently dropped it back down and I'm just trying to get this housing done at the end here. This one could be paused, but this needs to get done. But so does this, so. Problem is, I have nowhere near enough odd jobbers right now to actually get anything done. Because I've also been trying to increase my food supply. Let's just cancel that one. I just really need this done. Why are these guys? Well, these guys are the rarest species in the game. They're like ancient giants. They're extremely picky, but they live for like thousands of years. So they're also exceptionally strong. But it's hard to keep them happy. And I wouldn't say they're eternally pissed. I mean, they're currently 100% loyal. They're like 80% happy, which is pretty good, actually. Considering we have a negative 3% crime rate, we're actually doing pretty good. But these guys that we just brought in, if that's what you're asking about, everybody's pissed when they first join, so that's not too unordinary. But these guys are basically dwarves. These guys are basically orcs. These guys are like the blue guy from Watchmen. These guys are elves. These are humans, and these are lizard people, I think. They're like weird lizard bug things. There we go. Stuff's actually getting done again. Once we get nicer housing, it'll increase the population a bit here. Now that we've actually got idle hands around. You meant the Watchmen? Yeah, they're just eternal giants. These guys. But they're not actually that pissed. They're like 70% happy. Or maybe 75-ish, which is pretty good. They just want everything. They want the nicest housing. They want baths, which I haven't even unlocked yet. They want constant. They want good work. They want to write. They want to be intelligent. They want to be in charge. They're basically just like prissy, needy bastards that are also basically immortal compared to every other race. That too. I thought that they just kind of hated everybody, but yeah, they're difficult to keep happy, but it's fine. As far as like this game goes, those three are actually like kind of okay currently. Chicken pen, more of like sheep equivalents. I mean, they're onyxes, which are like mountain sheep, if I'm not mistaken. It's also a yoga move. According to Google. Shawarma, yeah, sure. I mean, we also have cucumbers and generic fruit. But yeah, we've got a lot of these. The majority of our industry is selling our produce and meats and leathers. When I see fruit, which fruit? Like the word fruit? Apples generally? Or oranges? Why? Hiya. I mean, phycology is nothing. Psychology is something, but... I mean, I would think that whatever fruit that you're used to seeing around the most and referred to as a fruit. I think that the, my fun, like, counter to that would be pumpkin. Because pumpkin is a fruit. Or tomato, actually. Like, these claim to be fruit farms. Those could be tomatoes. Could also be, like, some sort of, like, a pepper. But I'd say it's less psychology and more just upbringing. Never had pumpkin? Well, that means you're clearly not from my country. And clearly that means you're missing out and an inferior person because you haven't experienced the same things I have. Naturally. Grab guard posts and dungeons. Get better foreign relations. Get better bartering. Even better bartering. And even better bartering. It's going to hopefully increase my financial gain significantly. I had pumpkin one time. Was hard to get your head out after the party. I'm going to generalize about Europeans for a second here. People from Europe massively waste pumpkins. Because, like, whenever they do end up with pumpkins, they're just like, oh, like, I just carve this and then throw it at a wall, right? It's like, nah, like, mate, that makes some of the best soups you've ever had. Like, a pumpkin soup or a pumpkin pie is just, like, absolutely decadent and wonderful. But so few people, like, properly appreciate the wonders of pumpkin across the pond. Pumpkin seeds too, yeah. Every single piece of the pumpkin, with the exception of the stem, is delicious, if cooked right. One of my favorite soup to make is pumpkin squash and sweet potato, so I agree. You can eat the skin. I've had dried pumpkin skin before, and it is delicious. All right, I was saying I was going to buy slaves, so damn it, we're going to do it. Let's just buy 50. Whoomp. Population jumps up by 50. Now we suddenly have a lot of odd jobbers. They will get slowly released into the general population. And our loyalty just dropped from like 100% down to 88 because, and their loyalty in general as a species drops because of the increase in that. But it means I can now train my whole army. So, you know, slaves. Also, hi, Spetsnaz. Well, as somebody who lives in a big country with enough land to logically grow pumpkin, where it like makes sense to grow it, I would be very sad if I lived anywhere else and in the fall I couldn't easily access and purchase pumpkin, because I love pumpkin. Sure, we can leave those in there. Down to nothing, bring that down to nothing. But they can bring these from here up to there instead of running all the way across. We also have somewhere to actually deliver this stuff to now. So now we actually have a crime rate. We're now down to 86% happiness. But copy this twice and get more farming up and running. I actually have enough bodies now to build these. Do you get nice homegrown ones? Those are the good ones. Nipple. Homegrown pumpkins far better than non-homegrown pumpkins generally. Now we just need to increase our food output, I think. Filling in water takes time. Speaking of, so I'm gonna dig up this just so that we get a nice flat line. No, because I'm trying to get food stockpiles up. Or just these farms built, and then we're going to turn clothes on again. I want to get our food count up higher. Then we can turn clothes back on. All right, now that we've done that, here, activate. Yeah, I still don't actually have enough odd jobbers to turn those back on. What else are we still building? I don't have enough people to turn them on, unfortunately. I want to, but I do not have enough workforce. I've built more stuff than I have workforce to support right now. What are we doing on cloth? We got 1,000 cloth. How many people are working in here? Might just kind of have to let it sit for a little bit. What I really need, actually, is I need tilapia nursery. Because I need more workers. How many people are working here? 66? That down by... Let's turn one of the clothing manufacturers back on. Also, if you hold down right click, little red squares will appear in areas that's general grime and dirt. Also, I really need another toilet over here. Lava. We need more lavatories. Kind of a big lavatory, but we're gonna work with it. Too few idle builders. Well, we get done. Also, that's a really funny question to read out of context. Telegram Master is the did you turn clothes on again? Still waiting for those rebels to inevitably attack me, like they've claimed they will. We have 195 dudes trained for the military. Make a human squad. But everyone was nude normally. See, turning clothes off generally turns people on. I'm very funny, by the way. More nice housing. Explains why the toggle flips the other one off. Huh? You know, can I just say that I think it's hilarious that people generally have one of two first impressions of my stream. It's either this guy is rude and I hate him, or we're gonna get along great. It's usually like it's one of two first impressions people usually get from my stream. And it's a very quick and clean and dirty way of just knowing whether or not we're gonna get along or not. Going to free half of these, or 15 of these dudes. We've just freed 15 slaves. It's gonna make these dudes even more upset at me for a minute. But they can also leave too, but it should also improve their general happiness over time. It's also going to give me a temporary crime boost. Fucking 7% crime. God. You always give people second chances. You gave yourself a second chance to get more impression of someone. Your first impression was, wow, rude, but now you love me. It's like, I sass sometimes, I think, too heavily, and I just kind of assume everybody can handle sass, but I think kind of what I need to reprogram my brain is that internet of 10 years ago is not the internet of now, you know? People are much more delicate on the internet these days, for the better, for worse. Usually I think it's for the worse, because it means the internet's a lot less fun, but eh. Being sassy is fun. Which is both good and bad in ways. Yeah, I mean, it's good because, like, chat's not a bunch of nonsensical, like, dongers, but I don't know. I sometimes feel like the internet's taken a turn for the worse in the past few years. Especially recently. Thanks, NFTs, but, you know. Shoutouts to the Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're in the age of Twitter. To be honest, I think I like the age of 4chan more than the age of Twitter. But then again, most of the stuff I participated in with 4chan was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made fake ads for iPhones so that they microwave phones? You know, that kind of stuff. And asking people to, like, put a shoe on their head and take a selfie so that we know that they're real. You remember that whole thing? I was very much in that thread when that was happening. Very much was in that thread when that was happening. That was a fun thread. Oh my god. They're just digital receipts. It's digital proof of purchase. That's all that it is, really. Mind. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's like it's a digital proof of purchase that you purchased an item from a person, and the item can be whatever you want it to be. It's just currently used to commodify digital art, which is the worst endgame for art. But that's also been the art industry for as long as the art industry has existed. But the digital art industry has been kind of free of that for a long period of time because, well, we fortunately got to live in an era where the only way to really support digital artists was to send them money for a thing instead of just purchasing from them. Boxy is queen. Boxy is absolutely queen. Holy lunchbox. I wonder who the current queen of the internet is. I hate that we all remember these. Mine. On your crappy old laptop takes time. Yeah. But it's time well spent, though. Seems interesting. This game is a mashup of Total War, old school city builders like Pharaoh, and well, the developer claims Dungeon Keeper, but I don't see as much Dungeon Keeper in this. It is a very ambitious, large-scale city builder. With a whole lot of depth and unnecessary simulation, which is what interests me about games like this. Judging from all the bullshit going on from her banning that Pokemon person. Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. I should have just guessed that. Pokemon's probably the queen of 4chan these days. I haven't, like, been to 4chan, the website, in, like, a very, very, very long time. So. No. Like, so I used to kind of think that as well. But the more I play this game, the less it feels like DF. It scratches the same itch because it's like a city builder, but it's much more of a city builder than a DF adjacent game. So I wouldn't compare this game to DF kind of at all. Think like Pharaoh if it was made by an insane person instead of people that wanted to make a fun game. But it's still really cool. But this is your randomly generated world map, and like where are we at? We are right here. So this is our region, the Erlen Crowns, which is this big old peninsula that we're on. But these are all societies and cities and factions and populations that can be invaded and taken over and enslaved or eaten. You know, all that good stuff. If you're interested in this game or you would like to try it, I recommend playing the demo, which is available on all of the platforms this is available on, which is Steam, Itch, and Good Old Games. And the reason I recommend the demo is because the demo is the full game. But it's like I'm 8 months to a year behind in development usually. So old versions of the game get chucked up as a demo. So if you'd like to try the game, you can just download an older version of the game. Just keep in mind it'll be missing features and conveniences and polish, and we'll still have old bugs in it because it's just an older version of the game. But it'll give you a pretty good idea of what playing this game feels like. So that's what I'd recommend if you're interested in trying this game. I think you are talking about a different Foxy. I think we're all thinking of the I think me and Hobo at the very least are thinking of the old YouTuber named Boxy from old school YouTube. Yeah, no problem. Ask an Ari. I also recorded a interview with the developer of this game, which is going up on the YouTube channel. Hopefully Friday, fingers crossed to get it edited by then. I'm aiming for Friday. Aiming for Friday. Hopefully that'll be interesting too. Also, if you want to hear that interview now, it's any tier on my Patreon will unlock the audio for it, so you could just listen to the audio formatted version if you'd like. Because streamers gotta pay bills. I'm hanging out right here. I think that we need like another campfire up here. Maybe 2 campfires and another well. Ah! Thanks for the $3. Cheers, dude. Also loud noises. And I startle easily. That's actually not totally true. I don't really. But that one did kind of startle me. Nothing is as scary as the level up sound in Dawn of Mexico. That or the level up sound in Caves of Cud, for that matter. Chat, can I get a round of beers? For the $3? Thrown at streamer? So we're helping keep this weird stream funded. There was a comment left on the VOD for that game, which I thought was really funny, which is just ... So you have to click show more, and then it says level up, which I thought was very funny. Kind of made my day when I saw that. I was like, ah, yeah. Beers for the beer god, drugs for the drug throne. Is that where we're at now? How's that crime rate doing? Not terrible. Let's just free the rest of these. There we go. All of the slaves have been freed, which is a good thing. But currently they're still pissed, so it just upsets everybody. Releasing slaves generally pisses off the slaves, and it pisses off everybody else who owns slaves, because they're like, what? I don't own those anymore. God damn it. Wasted all my money. Pretty much. Welcome back, audio. You get freedom. You get a freedom. You get a freedom. Everybody gets a freedom. Do you compensate them for freeing the slaves? I don't know. I mean, pressing the button doesn't cost me anything, so except for like my crime rate, which spikes. But that's about it. Everybody's upset right now because I freed slaves. It's fine. They'll figure it out eventually. Although being in the 70s for loyalty is actually pretty good. Except for the dwarves. The dwarves are real happy. Yeah, they have to like make. Now we have room for new slaves. I mean, yeah. Although it did work, I was able to train up my military. We've now got 242 soldiers, which is good. They should probably actually import more weapons. Let's do a round of weapons. Do a round of tools. And let's do... I need some pottery, because there's like no clay on this map. Making storage for it. What race are we majority? The majority of our race is technically orcs, but we started off as the elves, which are the Tilapi. But we have a bunch of orcs because I just bought a bunch of slaves of them, but they're now pissed at me. Then there's humans, dwarves, and these guys, and I don't have any of these guys because they don't really... It's kind of hard to make these guys happy unless you're constantly invading people. They're basically just like your zerglings. They only live for like 15 years, and they just like death and destruction according to their description, so. Which is great if you're murdering a lot of people, but we're not currently murdering a lot of people. We're kind of off in the middle of nowhere being a farming colony. Although apparently we've pissed people off enough that there's bandits coming to kill us, so we'll see how that goes in a little bit, but... But yeah, the fact that we have so many elves is why we have all of these, because the elves only eat meat in this. No, I didn't pay my protection fees. We killed them. We murdered all of them. Well, actually, that's not true. We murdered 10 of them and then took 5 of them as slaves and then freed them, and they became part of our faction. So no, I've never paid protection fees. I think I can start turning more of these textile shops back on, or these tailor shops back on. Should be able to. Uh-oh, that's very messy up there. Let's bring another janitor up here. Fill in that little spot quite nicely, actually. Janitor is one of those necessary roles. If you just hold down your right click, you can see all those little red squares are areas that the janitor needs to clean. So particularly dirty areas. I love how some of them are just like, it's a particular dude, but like, those are areas that the janitor needs to go and clean up. And this spot, nowhere near as popular as this spot. Oh, speaking of buildings I need to copy. Like, copy this. It's food distributor. Like your grocery store, basically. Yeah, no, the nice thing about not paying the protection fees is the protection fees gave me enough notice to finish power building my military and getting about 16 soldiers trained and geared, which was better than their, like, 15 unarmed dudes. So we cut through them pretty quick. They fortunately were not too hard to horribly murder. So the nice thing about this area that we've been digging in, I've got this right here, which I've just built on, but that's fine. I think I'm going to start digging this out because this is a pretty nice stone deposit that I'd really like to have access to. So I'm going to start digging into mountains back here. We're just going to dig out all this chunk like that. Then once we get up here, we can... I think that these are caves. Yeah, these are available caves. We can also... and also dig into this and then get some of this ore mined out. They're very small, weak ore deposits, but hey, it's something. It's better than nothing. Also, these little dwarves love digging. Another thing I should do is I should build another one of these. Hey, Bob. How are you? Good to hear, Bob. Glad that you're doing all right. We're just chilling, playing Songs of Six, enjoying the atmosphere and the music, the chill vibes. Actually, don't know if they can make it in there. I think they can. This should be pathable. And there's also a fuckload of coal over there. That's one thing we do have a lot of is coal. These are like the most good coal deposits you could get, but that requires a lot of mining. Yeah, the music is phenomenal in this game. There we go. These guys are starting to get a little happier. The crime rate dropped. A little bit. Was a noticeable bump, but... Also, this is one of these mechanics in this game that's a little bit fucked up. You can prioritize certain species in this game for execution and imprisonment. Which is... it's hard to speak. Questionable. It defaults it everybody to execute a quarter of your prisoners. But you can be like, execute none of these guys, but execute all of these guys that go to prison. Regardless of charges. It's like, shall I reiterate, this is why the dev apparently jokes to himself that this game's gonna, like, stop future dictators from taking over small countries because they're too busy just playing this game. It's very much a, awkward? Although, I don't know. Chat, how do you guys feel about the era of video games without morals that we're living in now? You know? In a world where Crusader Kings exists and like Crusader Kings exists and like RimWorld exists and all of these games that are just like, yeah, you can be the absolute worst kind of person. And the game is designed around that. Cuz like most of the time, I think it's cool. Most of the time. But every now and again, like, I'll see a mechanic and I think where I'm like, really? Wow, that's, like, brutal. Like, genuinely brutal. So I'm kind of torn on it. I don't know about you. But the argument that I've heard is like, well, you know, in the most popular genres of games, you're, like, shooting people in the head for points. So I guess at the very least in these kinds of games, it's like, you just get to be an evil person for points. It's gonna take a lot of materials. Too thin in places. No fun. I want to make a cool shaped pasture, but some people need to learn that reality is not the same as entertainment. No, totally. But, like, it does give me pause in places, you know? I just think it's neat that we're at that we've kind of gotten past the era of, yo, comic books are too violent, guys. And, like, newspapers are gonna make you murder people if you keep reading true crime. I'm just glad that we're kind of past that point where, like, art and media, unless, like, you're being blatantly mean to certain people with media, like if you make, I don't know, I don't even want to say it, but, you know, there's some games that exist that, like, shouldn't exist without question. But the majority of games that, like, games don't get criticized as much as they used to for tackling adult themes, whether that be harsh reality of politics or, I don't know, murder, incest, racism, all that shit. Of course I played Black and White. Goddamn classic. Some people look at Blade Runner in 1984 and think it's a great idea to push society in that direction. That's not the direction I thought you were going to go with that statement about Blade Runner. I mean, Blade Runner's got some pretty fucking creepy glorification of sex assault. And I like that movie. That's first Blade Runner is a goddamn classic, but there's some shit in that movie that's like, calm down there, Harrison Ford. But Blade Runner is a wonderful film. It's when people are like, man, have you seen Blade Runner? That world is so beautiful. It's like, what is wrong with you? It definitely makes it easy to point at people and go, stupid, stupid, stupid. Certainly makes that easy. Or it's like somebody missed the memo. It's like the whole point is that we're not supposed to make the world look like that. Yep. Yes, it does. That's the version I own on Blu-ray. I mean, it's beautiful, but not a beautiful that I want the world that I live in to look like. Like, not even close. That'll give my dwarves somewhere to work. It's just an open pit mine. It's a stone quarry. A tragical place? Yeah. You know, that's actually one thing I really liked about Star Wars Episode 7. I didn't like any of the new Star Wars movies, or any of the bits that I watched them. I watched part of the 8th one and a tiny little bit of the 9th one and bits and pieces of the others. The one thing I really liked about Episode 7 is it has some really good crashed spaceships. Like, that crashed Star Destroyer looks badass. Like, the visual design of that movie, fantastic. Everything else about those movies, I'll forget that they exist. But that crashed Star Destroyer, pretty fucking cool. Like, 10 out of 10. Like, if that movie was rated purely on how cool the visuals of the crashed Star Destroyer were, 10 out of 10 for me. Specifically for that crashed Star Destroyer. Also, I get to phone my pharmacy tonight and be like, so, that thing that you said that you'd call me about when it was done, that was 3 days ago, and I need that stuff by tomorrow. Fun. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, there's lots of pieces of Star Wars that's like, eh. Even in the originals, which are, like, you know, some of my favorite movies as a young adult, definitely have large portions that are like, I don't know about that, guys. I really don't know about that one. We need to fell more trees. Not lore, but, like, just the script writing. Like, I think that, like, the lore of Star Wars is actually pretty good. It's just the script writing of the individual films and the way the individual films are directed. Like, there's large parts of those movies are just like, eh. But that's not what makes them good. What makes them good is, like, the believability of the world that they create. Put this in a bad spot. Oh, well. It's fine. Can move it later, theoretically. Technology services 4. Kind of a lot of money, or a lot of research I gotta spend, but grab them. Now I can make nurseries. You meant script and ended up typing lore? Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I think that's honestly why I often end up enjoying hard sci-fi. It's like, if you can just like match the visuals or like come close to the visuals of Star Wars with better script writing and plot devices surrounding it, I often end up liking the thing a lot more than Star Wars. We're actually making purchases now, but they're coming out on top. It's good. When it's set up at high speed. Yeah, the snow is one of the effects that I kind of take issue with in this game. I think the snow just kind of looks crappy. Also, I at the very least get quite a bit of screen tearing when I pan the camera around, and I'm not sure why. Like, there's no logical reason for it, but it's when I do like this, I'll get screen tearing around the middle here. But then sometimes it just doesn't happen for like unknowable reasons, so kind of odd. I should make these people a toilet too. Don't have enough idle workers to get the jobs done. That's absolutely incorrect. I got 7 idle workers. Come on, guys. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like absolutely stoked for this game getting like a scenario-based campaign. I really hope that stuff turns out well for this game. A door thing's going into heavy advanced tech stuff? Yeah. I agree. Speaking of, isn't there a new episode of Expanse pretty soon? I'm trying to think when the next episode will be out. There's like 2 episodes left. I think that might actually be today. I'm always scared to look it up because there's often spoilers. I'm gonna just take a peek at Amazon Prime and see if there's a new episode of that. New episode's Friday? I thought they were Sunday, but maybe I just normally catch them on Sundays. Did I watch the most recent one? I can't remember. You're looking at it now, so I'm not the only one. Wondering if I've seen the most recent episode then. Nope, I have not seen episode 5. Yeah! I get a new episode of Expanse tonight. I know what I'm doing tonight. Watching The Expanse. Fuck yeah. Also, I got nowhere near enough workers now because they're all working in the stone mine. You know, only 4 of you can work in there. But it'll make these guys happier, which is good. He binged it all on Friday. Please no spoils. Please no spoils. But yeah, no, I fucking love that show. I absolutely adore The Expanse. It's like my favorite piece of new television since, oh god, like Dexter maybe? Like when Dexter was new, like on the first few seasons of Dexter. Like it's been a really long time. Well, actually no. This is the most I've been in love with a TV show since Breaking Bad. because that was more recent than Dexter. So yeah, favorite TV show since Breaking Bad. Just flat. It's so fucking good. And it took until season 4 for somebody to convince me to watch it. Actually, oddly enough, what convinced me to watch it was I got a bounty on Twitch to show a trailer for the upcoming season. It was the first one that Amazon paid for and funded. The first season they were on Prime. And I got paid to show that trailer on stream. And I watched that trailer. And then I'm like, this actually looks really good. And chat's like, you haven't seen The Expanse? And I was like, no, I haven't seen The Expanse. I was like, fucking watch The Expanse! So technically, like, Amazon had to pay me to watch The Expanse. You're waiting for the new Digimon episode? Hey, you know, we all have our own priorities. They literally just need to build it. Everybody's just, like, on break. There is, like, designated break time in this game, which is why they just kind of stand around. They're not idling. They're just, like, socializing and gossiping and on break. We're building a nursery for the elves. Can put a few more cribs here. There, one. What is that blocking? Something, apparently. That's going to be our first nursery. We can start making babies of these peoples. I mean, they're digital monsters. What's not to love? Come on. Just because I know absolutely nothing about Digimon aside from a booster pack a friend got me once and one episode I saw once on TV. I know almost nothing about Digimon aside. Oh, I used to watch a speedrunner that would speedrun a Digimon game. But I couldn't even tell you what game it was, little. Like, I just know it was a Digimon game, and he didn't speedrun it very often. It was like one of the funsies games that he'd play occasionally. So, yeah, I'm super well versed in Digimon, yep. Nah, let's not buy any more slaves. One of my favorite things about this game on Steam is that one of the most popular guides is just called War in all caps. War! The guide to War! Brought to you by your favorite greenskin! Ah! Actually, no. Then it would be a guide to Wah. But when it comes to hard sci-fi with good writing, there is 2 franchises I will always hope and cross my fingers that they will one day get good live-action TV adaptations. First one is Battletech, and the second one is Elite Dangerous, or just Elite. I would do a lot of bad things to get an official Elite TV show. Just like I would also do a lot of bad things to get an official Battletech TV show. Because, like, imagine, like, a high-budget, high-production Battletech TV show with a good script. Some of them are, the Battletech novels are, they're kind of like any extended universe thing, where it depends on who the author is. But, to put it simply, Battletech is Game of Thrones in space. It's feudal societies, princes getting mad at each other, decorated warriors who are actually pansies, crazy love triangles between multiple royal groups, outcast clans with mega technology from ancient times, looming death and like endgame threats, sieges of planets to like block off trade routes. Like, there is so much you could like pull out of Battletech to turn it into a great TV show. So much. Like, it's all just like fucking like mech princes and mech politics is like Battletech. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Would be more crazy. Dude, Thargoid ships would, like, if they could pull off, like, there might be mild spoilers about things relating to, both, I just got a text from my aunt responding to that. Okay. In regards to me visiting my Oma on the 14th. Anyway, like, they could pull off a twist at the end of, like, a first season of Elite that, for people who know nothing about Elite, would be as big and as epic as the protomolecule stuff. They could pull that off. Like, they could literally have that same fucking plot twist. Like, that first moment of being just interdicted from a hyperspace jump, just woof. Whew. Also has space ATN, like, as in the phone provider? But give it to a production company and they'll butcher it. What, Battletech? I think it depends on who you give it to. I mean, I guess sideways, but I never really thought of it that way. Although, a Battletech TV show could also be, like, no substance and all fluff, and I'd be down. Where it would be utterly ruined. They didn't fuck up The Expanse. In fact, I've had some people say that they like the TV show for Expanse more than the books. So, I don't know, man. I mean, the only sci-fi... Well, let's see. I watched that movie Mother, which was... It had a few moments in it which were cool visually, but that was a really bad movie. And the other sci-fi thing that I've seen recently was Night Flyers. And that is the strongest start and the poorest finish I think I've seen for a sci-fi show ever, maybe. Like, the first 5 episodes of Night Flyers is incredible. It's incredible. Like, it's got everything. It's got obscene amounts of violence. It's got a love triangle. It's got psychics that can, like, brain wipe you. It's got... and make you bleed out of your ears and your brain explode. It's got creepy little ghost girls, it's got a possessed AI, it's got a weird ship that wants to kill you, and like they send out a probe to like meet the aliens before they run into the aliens, because that's the whole point of the thing, is they're going to go meet aliens. And they send out a probe, and the probe shows up back way too quickly, and it's full of the flesh of the guy who designed the probe. Like, the opening of that show is so fucking good, and then it just, like, crashes and burns in the last 4 episodes hysterically poorly. It's, like, such a strong start, and then it just goes bonk and falls down to nothing, and a horrible ending. It's, like, everything I want from a sci-fi horror show, and then it's, like, they threw too much into it, and it just fell apart and burned. And then I learned afterwards that it was based on a short story by George R. Martin. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's why this had a terrible ending. Dating in general, maybe. I tried Hinge for about a week and then uninstalled it. Tinder is just more entertaining. Patchwork. Also, if you have 3+ people to talk to, then you're doing a hell of a lot better than I've ever done in online dating ever. It's like, I'll talk to one person every 6 months, and it lasts like 48 hours before they unmatch generally. No. Short story had good idea at the beginning and didn't land any of them well. TV show tried to translate it into TV show.
Jump stealthily into first.
And it ended about the same way. Good job, jumping stealthily into first. Rory, thanks for the $2. Pushing IR Stupid into second. Yeah, it was doomed from the get-go, but it just makes me sad when a show that I am enjoying is full of every single trope that I love. And then they just proceed to totally ruin it. Vast of Night. Is that a movie? If it is, stick it in the movies and TV section of the Discord. Like, post a wiki page and I'll do my best to remember it. On YouTube, you watch a guy who loves BattleTech and likes to cover some stuff about the lore. There's a few channels that do that. No Guts, No Galaxy is particularly good at that stuff. Short, but really, really well made. Slow boil, great characters, interesting premise, and there's trailers and all that. Oh, cool. Noted. Curious about how efficient this breeder will be. This is much bigger than the breeders I built the last time. Or nursery, I guess, technically. Just gonna dig a puddle there so that we got somewhere to bathe. You have a good night, Twitch Ups. Thanks for hanging out, dude. There's the nursery for the elves. So they bring fruit there, and they feed them fruit. Sure, sideways if you want to. It's probably somebody I've already heard of. So this can have up to 26 children. It's already got a bunch of babies in it. Oh, yeah, I know Black Pants. Hey, man. Normally, chicks just... Like, we were talking about this earlier, so I don't want to just, like, rehash the old subject, but I usually get unmatched for one of three reasons. Because girls on online dating, or I guess women on online dating, want guys that either make $100,000 a year, own a house, or own a car, and I don't have any of those things. And because I'm not, like, super buff and easy to point at as conventionally hyper attractive, I'm just kind of screwed all around when it comes to online dating. So to me, it's just like an excess source of entertainment and like digital people watching almost. I can legally drive a tugboat. Yeah, but you can't really like... I mean, I could cooler than a tugboat. I can technically drive a jet boat. Like, you know, the water jet boats, because it's the same license. Which is significantly cooler than a tugboat. I just always automatically go towards tugboat because tugboat's funny to talk about and sounds silly. It's just like I could drive a boom boat. I need to use that as a pickup line at some point. Back up that boom boat or something. But... Which, by the way, is a tiny little fucking boat that's designed to push logs around in a log boom. It's like, it sounds like it should be a line from, like, Rock Lobster by the B-52s, but... It's a legitimate thing! Well, we bought a bunch of slaves and freed them, and we've almost entirely fixed the issues that we got from having slaves. So the crime's gone almost completely back down to null again, which is good. Why is it so hard to comprehend what wave depletion said, Patchwork? From the Beachcomber show? I've never seen Beachcombers. I'm not much of a beach person, like in general. I kind of hate beaches, actually. Sand, it's coarse and it gets everywhere. I like walking on beaches. I don't really like going to beaches. All right, so we're actually pretty stable right now. We have enough food, making money, got a decent built-in military. Doing all right. Income is usually one of the, not first things, but the second anything starts getting even remotely serious, it's one of the first things that comes up. But it depends on what you're looking for in online dating. If you're just looking for hookups, then yeah, money. The topic of money is never going to come up because who the fuck cares? Just fuck off. But if you're talking about like seriously dating, then yes, the topic of money comes up. And you know, hookups can be fun. Don't get me wrong, but a little impractical in the current world that we live in. Just a little bit impractical, you know. Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most important things when evaluating a possible suitor is, do they make money? I mean, I'm all for normalizing talking about income, personally. I think people should talk about income. Like, one of the most frustrating things from my about my parents to me is the fact that they refuse to talk about finances at all. Just period. Like, finances is, like, the most taboo subject. They will talk about, like, the most, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? They will talk about incredibly incredibly touchy subjects, but the second politics comes up, that's offensive. Or the second money comes up, that's offensive. It's like, what? Which is why in online dating profiles, people are constantly leaning on the very expensive vehicle that they leased. Because they want to inflate their potential wealth evaluation. And why I've been unmatched when I tell people I don't drive and don't own a car. One of the most memorable unmatches I've ever had was the topic of jobs came up and like, what do you do for a living? And this was like during like the height of the pandemic, right? So like nobody was meeting up with anybody anyway. But we'd been talking for about 2 weeks, and then the person asked me like, so what do you do for a living? Because like the subject just never came up. We were mostly just talking about other extracurricular things. And after they told me what I did for their job, I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll be honest. I told her what I did, and like her response was quite literally just, I dated a YouTuber once back in high school, and I'm never dipping that low again, sorry. And immediately unmatched. So, you know, like, yes, the concern of jobs and finances is definitely a big thing. Oh, this game is great, Kikapina. If you're interested in trying it, I recommend trying the demo. And the reason I recommend trying the demo is because the demo is the full game. It's just the full game from like 8 months to a year ago-ish. It's just a bunch of versions behind. So if you're interested in trying this game, you can get a very good feel for what the game feels like, play through the tutorial, and kind of wrap your brain around the basics. But it's a very, very cool city builder inspired by games like Pharaoh and Total War. I recommend it. Good game. It deserves the overwhelmingly positive reviews it got. Which is why the joke from earlier of wrapping back around to the previous subject, which is why we were joking earlier that in order for Blind to ever be able to get another partner, Chat just needs to give Blind a raise. But we also determined that Chat needs to get a raise before Blind can get a raise. So Chat, go get better jobs so that I actually become dateable, please. Which is still just like the funniest like discussion I think I've had with Chat in a very long time. Damn near killed me. Today's been a fun stream, Chat. Yeah, and if you're interested in this game at all, I'm working on an interview with the dev, which is currently up on the Patreon. If anybody wants to, you know, up for $1, that'll get you access to it. But it'll be going up hopefully on Friday on YouTube with a video alongside of it. I need to edit. I'm like, I've done a tiny bit of editing on it. I edited the audio and I prepped it for video. I just need to download the footage from today and the previous streams that I've done and put it together. Stitch it all up. Hopefully I'll be able to get that mostly done tomorrow. I'll have it up by Friday. Ark, no, your fortune, now you're undateable. No, to be clear, nobody's undateable. This means you haven't rolled the dice high enough yet. Everybody's dateable. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to lower your standards or not. That is a very dated thing to say. And by dated, I mean old-fashioned. Patchwork. This is just going to be for veggies, I think. But like I said, we're just repeating the same conversation from earlier. It's less to do with that and more to do with when you meet people in person, right? You meet a person and you get to talk to the person and you meet the person. When you're looking at an online profile, we absent-mindedly punch upwards. And by punch upwards, I mean try and seek somebody that's better than yourself. Whether that's in appearance and looks, finances and success, or just whatever. Like whatever it is you're seeking, people are more likely to try and aim upwards than they are to like settle, if that makes sense. Because when your first impressions are an online profile, you're not looking at the person. You're looking at a profile, which isn't the person. It's an idealized version of the person. So issues with dating in general, where people always try and punch up, is exacerbated when you're looking at online dating. So if you're somebody who's very conventionally attractive, or somebody who has a lot of money, or somebody who's had a lot of success, you won't notice those as much, right? Those problems with that kind of dating. But if you're not somebody who fits into those pockets, it's just like a challenge against your own sanity. God, I love watching them harvest fields in this game. So satisfying. Look at this. Gorgeous. Dating is complicating, and it only gets worse the older you get. Like, just as a dumb example, for me, a deal breaker is kids. I don't want kids. I have zero desire to ever have kids or be anywhere near kids. In fact, I kind of hate kids. Number of women my age that are in online dating that already have 2 or 3 kids is, like, not uncommon. I mean, just like hang out near your Tesla and find somebody with similar interests and you'll be fine, hobo. Oh, and also, the algorithms are optimizing you into that hole of trying to punch up. Because what's profitable for sites like Hinge and Tinder, or any of those dating sites, they want you to have a subscription and keep it rolling. And they want you to keep using the app so they can keep harvesting data. They don't want you to actually meet anybody. Like, they want you to feel like you could meet somebody, but not actually meet somebody. But that's just, me bashing social media again. So. If those sites worked, then nobody would use them anymore. Because they worked. Hmm? How old am I? I'm 27. I'm 27. Which puts me in, like, the 24 to, like, 30 plus era of dateability for people. Well, thanks, Pack, but doesn't really mean much. Oh, absolutely, Kekapina. Yeah, you got to, be young in an era where phones didn't exist and online dating wasn't an issue. Back. Yeah, and you're never gonna find that through online dating in my experience. Patchwork specifically. I mean, wouldn't an online date for you be like zip lines or fishing? Pack? I'm trying to think, what are other terms that you could use for like, oh, bungee jumping. That's technically on a line, right? That's on a line, right? Like, what else do we got here? I guess technically you have to be on a lead line when you're rock climbing. That's also online. Cave delving, you have to hold a rope, so that's online. I'm running out of possible lines. Tightrope walking? I don't know, I'm not that skilled. Suspension bridges require a lot of lines, so I guess that could be on lines? Also, can I just say I have no idea why people have this fascination with suspension bridges in Vancouver? Like, we have a suspension bridge in Vancouver, and it's like this hot spot for people to hang out. Like, it's so fucking boring. Why do people go there? It's like, cool, I walked across a bridge. Yay, I can walk across it again. All right, let's go home. Why did I spend $30 for that? Right. God, this is going to be an interesting VOD for people to watch. It's like, Blind complains about online dating for 8 hours. They can't have their Indiana Jones moment? Sure. Yes. Looks like a lot of tiles? What, this game looks like a lot of tiles? I mean, it works off of a grid, so that'd be why. Could get added to the Blind Thoughts playlist. I don't have a Blind Thoughts playlist, but if you do, then sure. But if you're interested in trying this game, just try the demo. Maholic, because the demo is just the full game. It's just the full game from a few versions ago. So you get to play the whole game. It gives you a really good idea of what the game plays like. So if you're interested in trying it, I recommend the demo. There's also a lot of stuff that sells the idea for some reason, like there's marketing for bridges being cool. They are in a tourist sort of way. Well, I mean, another thing that's like really popular thing in Vancouver is just let me find a picture of this real quick. Yeah, if you just Google clock Vancouver, you'll get this fucking clock. And I don't know what it is, but I have to walk past this clock in Gastown. Like it's made by a famous clockmaker and shit. But like it's in Gastown, and I have to walk past it to get to any of the like dive bars or metal venues that I go to for concerts. And there's always crowds of tourists and couples lining up to take photos next to it. And every time I walk past that, I end up photobombing somebody, like accidentally. I don't understand people's fascination. It's like, yeah, it's a cool clock, but like, who cares? Don't be don't be too don't get your hopes up about OkCupid. I'll put it that way. People are just as shallow as Tinder, and most people don't fill out all the information, or they fill it out incorrect. My experience with OkCupid was worse than Tinder. Her company's office is right near that clock. There's a lot of companies' offices that are right near that clock, dude. The tourism pamphlet. I will definitely doubt the wisdom of the tourism pamphlet, sir. Oh yeah, no, this is your playable area. So this is the area that we've been playing in. This is our playable area. There's only one map size. So you get to play on that, but that's not the map. This is the map. This is where we're playing down here. And this world is not like tricking you. These clouds, if they blow over your tile, that's when it rains. You can actually see trade routes happening in real time on the world map. You can also see armies moving around if they're going to go siege people. I'm just looking for a little caravan. There's a caravan. These are a lot of caravans. This is a really busy trade route. But these are all trade routes that have been bought and paid for by different factions. You can see what resources they're purchasing and moving around. You can figure out pretty quickly who's got a lot of money by looking at this stuff. And yeah, you can just settle anywhere when you start, pretty much, except for like on top of a mountain. Yeah, for a single-person development team, this game's apparently been in development on and off for 7 years, but he's only been working on it full-time for the past 2. So... I mean, OkCupid, I chatted back and forth with people for a bit, but OkCupid, the biggest problem that I have with it is unless you pump money into the thing, you get null. At least that was my experience. Was like, no matches, no likes, no nothing, in the, like, 6 months that I used it. And then I tried the premium thing for a month, and I got, like, a very small number of matches. Or a very small number of likes and 1 match when we talked for a bit, and then they just vanished. So, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that platform. But then again, like, I take online dating about as seriously as as scrolling on Reddit at this point. It's just, like, another source of virtual entertainment for me. Because, like, it in my experience, doesn't work. And I'm just kind of waiting for the world to stop setting itself on fire so I can just go outside and socialize with normal people again. Because that's what I'm good at, is talking to people in person, not, like, in text format. With, like, menial information about the person. But, like, I can't even go to a pub and just talk to a random person now because there's just plexiglass everywhere and shit. It sucks. All of the group events with strangers are all, like, perpetually canceled. Like, we have this, like, pretty great service around here, which is just called Adventures and Activities, which is supposed to be a dating service, right? And you only are allowed to sign up for it if you're single. Or I guess in an open relationship, theoretically. And then it's just hikes and events and shit that you can go on with people around your age category. But like, that's been stopped indefinitely since pandemic, so who cares? Doesn't even matter. Building more flat houses. I think that generally what I've taken away from online dating for myself is online dating might work for some people, but I don't think it works for me. That's my major takeaway. It might work for some people, but it sure as shit ain't working for me. You're just picturing everyone trying to talk to the 2 hottest people. The way those things are set up, that doesn't happen. But you're probably not wrong. I just want to go on hikes more often, man. People are fairly defensive. People have been getting more and more defensive over the past few years in general. I don't know how hot of a take this is, but things like Me Too haven't made dating or approaching people any easier because people look at white men as a threat by default, even more so than they used to. So, like, I don't know, man. What, when I went snowshoeing on the 30th pack? Yeah, me and Kevin are gonna do that more once we can book bus passes again, because the buses are all stopped until the current lockdown we're in ends again, which I think is the 14th, but that's gonna get extended. That's gonna get extended probably for at least another 2 to 6 weeks. Yeah, that was Mount Seymour, which is just one of the local mountains here. You did not know and really stopped caring. I'm painfully straight, mate. I know that much. I remember cracking a joke on a stream a while ago, which was, I'm jealous of people who are pan because you have the most options. It's like, it really sucks to be straight because it's like you have the least possible options. It's like you're limiting your horizons by the most, but eh. Is an actual grind. It's 1 to 2 years, and maybe you'll find a few persons that you can actually date more than one time and have potential for something serious. Oh, I know. Oh, I figured that much out. I mean, I've been on Tinder now for about 2 years, actually. On and off. I've had like several points where I just said, fuck this stupid app, and uninstalled it for like 6 weeks, but I'm not going to comment on that statement because I have zero experience with that patchwork. Also, I think that depends on a lot of factors. Also, there's many reasons, dead in meat, why I don't self-identify in the slightest as a gamer. I just really enjoy video games. But I'm not a gamer. It's not part of my, like, self-identifying personality, if that makes any sense. I do not consider myself a gamer in the capital G sense. I'm somebody who loves the design and art behind games, which is true. I like to think I have a more nuanced takes on games than what most people would consider a gamer. I just that typo sideways just makes me just really makes me want to like start quoting South Park. Really makes me want to just start quoting South Park. But we've made some fucking progress. Holy shit. Delete gerbs. Speaking of South Park, they're taking our gerbs! Yeah, because I'm deleting them. Uh-oh. That was not something I meant to delete. Oh well. Done did it. To be clear, I'm complaining about Tinder because I think it's fun to complain about. I'm not really looking for dating advice. Like, I appreciate the effort, but it's not really my goal here. It's just a funny subject for me to make fun of because I think that online dating is a fucking joke. But that's, you know, not really looking for advice here. Also, spending time at the computer I don't think is really an issue for anybody these days. And anybody who thinks that spending time at a computer is like fucking ass backwards because like 99% of jobs these days is just spending a lot of time at the fucking computer. So the only people I actually accept dating advice from are people who I know in person. So. We live in a digital age, yep, which is why we're gonna die out as a species. It's just kind of a fact. We're forgetting how to talk to each other and how to communicate with each other. Maybe it's for the best, though. We deserve it. I really need to turn this back on, but I can't. There's 26 children in here now. Once they grow up, there are more elves about. We'll make great pets for our alien overlords. They'd probably just eat me, realistically. I'm too high upkeep. You know, unpopular opinion, I don't want my mind uploaded to a computer. For one thing, it would probably break the computer because of how busted my brain is. But mostly it's just that's not you, that is copy. Like, you know, when you copy paste something on your computer, you have two of the folder, right? If you copy your brain onto the computer, it's a copy of your brain. It's not your brain. So you stay in your brain and the copy stays in the computer. And maybe the copy can go off and have its own life for all eternity. I would rather just fucking die. It's not an addiction, but generally I have a rule, right? And it's I don't take dating advice from married people. If I'm going to take dating advice from anybody, it's going to be from, well, I mean, NFTs are a copy of a thing. Dude, come on. If I'm going to take dating advice from anybody, it's people who are actively dating that I know. So, just also, the gaming thing is the least of the problems that I have when it comes to dating. Gaming and me being kind of a nerdy individual in general are not the issues that I have. I've talked about the issues that I have with online dating earlier in this stream, so I don't need to like rehash the same things that I've said previously. But I just, well, in that case, fuck dating married people then, Patchwork, because that's a really shitty thing to do. So if you want me to dig back into the things that I talked about 2 hours ago on this stream about why I have a hard time on social dating platforms on the internet, I can do that, but it's got nothing to do with games. The fact that I play games and the fact that I do this is rarely the issue. Initially, it read like you were trying to give advice. But that is the least of the issues current gen. Everybody plays games. Like, we're fortunately, when it comes to gaming, like, we're in an era where everybody, by like, I hate the term, gamer, is a gamer. Everybody's a gamer. Whether you play Candy Crush, Words with Friends, Among Us, Fortnite, fucking, I don't know, The Sims, everybody plays games. Right? Everybody. My mom fucking plays games. Like, she doesn't call herself a gamer at all, but she plays a few games on her phone. Like my grandma plays competitive ranked, or not so much these days, but for years played competitive ranked Scrabble on this, like, web browser-based Scrabble game that she found. And, like, everybody plays games, whether you are a, air quotes, gamer or not. So, like, that stigma's kind of dying rapidly. Especially since the pandemic, because there's fucking nothing else to do. No, all of the issues that I've had with online dating are money, career, and looks oriented. Wait until she finds out about Battle Royale. I think her dementia will prevent her from finding out about it, but if only Battle Royale came out like a couple decades sooner. She's pretty early, but she's like very much losing it. I think that she's got bigger problems to worry about than finding a new competitive Scrabble game. Go to Steam and type in Battle Royale. Just do it right now, Sideways. Just go to Steam and look up Battle Royale. Yeah, well, it's one of the main search features it's one of the main things that the internet makes you think is important. That's a lot of people. All right, time to train up more soldiers. These guys like the military quite a bit. Yep, which is why I hate online dating. I don't know, you brought this subject back up, Patchwork, so this whole conversation's on you. I don't think it's good to be picky about things that are completely superfluous. Well, you also said that you're married, right, Deadmeat? I don't know how long you've been out of the dating circle, but in the past, like, 5 to 10 years, whether or not you play games has ceased to matter almost entirely because most people that are in my age category grew up playing games or around people playing games to the point where just everybody plays games now. So I don't know when you were last dating, so, but, like, that's kind of a non-issue these days. Just last year, so somewhat fresh. Fair enough. But that is definitely something that's dying with the times. For good reason. Nexium! Thanks for tuning in to Blind Bitches About Online Dating this stream. Thanks for the 21st month, man. Welcome back. Also, we're going to spend out our free time without games? Netflix? I guess? I mean, I can only talk at Cleverbot so much, I suppose. I've unironically done that at many points in my life. Chat, can I get a couple more beers for that resub? Seriously. Cheers, Max. I have no workers because they're all working on fields. Hey, hello again. You seem to have forgotten to pay. Well, there's now rebels coming to get me. There they are, I think. Yeah. There's 285 of them. They're taking boats to come get us. Well. Any way we can train up our military, the better. Try and get them as geared as possible. I don't know if we can win this, but we'll try. The other rebels are still camping and far away and not really concerned with me, apparently. But these are different rebels, or different bandits, I guess. We killed the other ones. This is a bigger crew. And we are now under siege. Which is right here. I think that there's a way to, like... how do I do that? I just, like, click out of the wrong screen. Element under siege. Show. This seems to have bugged out. Normally, like, you click on that and then you can choose to fight them. Ah, there we go. Ooh, that's a very balanced fight. Guess we'll just engage. Not much more that I can do. I like that quote. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. All right, well, it's us versus them, so wish us luck, chat. Guess you can't do what I want to do. Well, they seem to just be kind of splitting. And charging us. I really wish that you guys would, like, turn around. There you go. Not sure why it made them go that way. Let's pause for a second here. You guys go after these guys. Well, let's see how this goes. Yeah, I only like imbalanced odds in my favor. Let's try and make these guys push up this way. I see people fleeing on both sides. My morale's down to 78. Lots of blood on the ground. Things are fleeing in both directions. Not this squad in the middle is like almost completely done. These guys got wrecked. The guys that were here. See if we can like collapse a little bit. Yeah, I feel like we're winning. This feels like it's going fine. Let's just kind of run them up here. Kind of do a bit of a regroup. Yeah, I think we're winning. I kind of wish that there was like a more obvious enemy troop count. There's this enemy forces button, but they seem to be kind of scattered down there. Yeah, we definitely won. Because we used some semblance of strategy, I think. Yeah, this game needs a good charge sound. So far, 5 minutes in, it looks like DF plus Rim plus Total War. It's more like Pharaoh Total War Rim World, but very little Rim World. So the developer calls it Pharaoh Total War Dungeon Keeper because those are his inspirations. He takes no inspiration from RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress or DF because he hasn't played either of them before. So we lost 96. They lost 285. Ooh, we got a bunch of alcohol from that. A bunch of rations, a bunch of armor, and a bunch of clothing. Bunch of slaves. Excellent. Your libraries aren't keeping up with the book degradation. Okay, so I need more libraries. My capital's back open. I now have 280 slaves. Oh boy. Or no, sorry. 280 happy people. No slaves. Misread that. But we did lose a lot of people. Lost a lot of my elves, which is unfortunate. Fortunately, we still have a lot of the kids still alive. Yeah, I misread the UI. It's my fault. I've been playing this game too long. Might be time to kill some aliens. Season 2 of what? Been gone a month. Am I still doing any Warsim? I need to pick that playthrough back up, but I never finished my holiday playthrough. It's just going to be kind of funny playing Santa in January. But Warsim's a game that I will always return to, unless it stops being good, which I don't think it will. Warsim is just a very high energy game for me to stream, and I haven't had as much energy as of late. I need to suspend jobs. Because we're currently minus 129 people. Fortunately, I do have a lot of space for migrants. So hopefully we'll just get a bunch of migrants if I speed the times up. Nope. Yeah, you need to say, oh, you, the name you. Okay, nah, I understand. Yeah, that series is fine. The third season was kind of rough, but the third season is like painfully obvious that they filmed it during the pandemic, and it feels like they cut it a lot. But for a like shitty romance series, it's fun. All right. I think that that about does it of this for today. When's the next season of Blind IRL? I don't understand. Oh, you mean the TV show You? Just go look up the TV show You, about a serial killer who kills his girlfriends. It's a good show. Anyway, it's how I feel about online dating, to be honest, and social media. It's actually a really good show. At least the first 2 seasons were. Anyway, that's it for this for today. Stream's still going. We're going to go defend Mother Earth from any alien attack from these goddamn insects that continuously come back. Yeah, of course we're going to go defend Mother Earth from any alien attack. Naturally. I mean, what else are you going to do after you've played, like, 9 hours of that?